Is this meeting meant to be live on YouTube?
Yeah, it is being streamed, but I believe there's going to be a motion to go on camera, at which point it will no longer be streamed.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Pam, you're still with us.
Yeah, I'm still here. I have a question. If it's going in camera, are you flipping over to Teams? And if so, I didn't get a meeting invite for that to be able to log in.
I didn't either, so that's a good sign.
Yeah, we'd either be using the breakout room or just everybody that's at the meeting. There is no public, so we could just stop the live streaming and continue on.
Awesome. Thank you for your guidance there.
So how much longer are you with us for?
Until my replacement gets identified. So I know you guys are having interviews at the end of November, and
Okay.
then we'll determine a date for my departure. We're trying to do it so that it's as seamless as it can be. So the new guy comes in and there's some transition and stuff just with everything that's happening. So
Yeah, it's wild right now.
I'm not going far. I'm just going into Edmonton, so that makes it easier. There's no house to sell or actual move, so it's good. Yeah.
That's great. Is it official where you're going? Can I
So-
ask you on YouTube?
We're not on YouTube right now, are we? Or
We are.
okay. Oh, yeah.
We won't-
Sorry.
Tamara, how's my audio?
Good.
Okay,
That
thanks.
sounds good.
Yeah.
We can't see you.
Well, that's probably a good thing.
No. Are you,
I was just thinking maybe it might be better for us to send out a Teams invite because everybody is on Zoom. Just because then we don't have to worry about the live streaming stopping. Would you guys prefer a Teams invite? Just because sometimes there's a lag with the live stream, or do you want to create, Mayor Heron, a breakout room?
what's that for going in camera?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we can do breakout room.
Okay.
Yeah. Who's all attending this one, Kevin? Do you know?
Well, I believe it'll be Percy and, well, Percy's here, Dave, Carrie and myself. I'm not sure about David. I'll have to double check on David.
Okay, I can't hear. Could you guys hear Kevin very well? Okay, I'm gonna put my headphones on.
David won't be attending. Kevin,
Thanks.
yeah.
One minute.
Look at that, David's attending.
Was he there? Okay. I just,
Was this meeting advertised?
On the website, yes.
Okay. All right, let's get started then. Pretty much all here. So emergency, what do we call this? An Emergency Management Advisory Committee. Everyone's here. There's 3 of us on the committee. So attendance is 100%. Call the meeting to order.
I'm pretty sure Ken's the chair, Kathy.
No, we changed that, remember?
Did we? Okay, never
yeah.
mind.
The mayor took over when we did the latest one.
I mean, I would love to hand it off if you want it, Ken.
I'm perfectly fine. I'm
Right.
just I like being eye candy.
Okay. No. Where are you?
I'm in the council boardroom downstairs on the second floor. I came to print some stuff off, but unfortunately the printer's not working still.
Okay, and we're going to do nominating committee in person at DCB, right? Okay. All right, adoption of the agenda. Anyone want to make a motion?
I'll do it.
Okay.
That the October 29th, 2020 Emergency Management Advisory Committee meeting agenda be adopted as presented.
Awesome. All those in favor? Unanimous. All right, Nellie, do you want to do the minutes from June 25th?
Sure. That the June 25, 2020 Emergency Management Advisory Committee meeting minutes be adopted as presented.
All right. Okay, seeing no one having any adjustments to those, all those in favor? Okay, but passing unanimously. All right, so the only little thing on the agenda is emergent items. Kevin and I think, kind of thought maybe because of the number of cases in St. Albert and the region and in even Canada right now, we thought we should probably do a check-in. So Kevin, am I turning this over to Percy?
Yeah, for the most part, I thought we would just have a quick, I guess, update from Percy and on, I guess, general things related to COVID, and then a discussion, I guess, of the recent announcement of the mandatory restrictions within Edmonton there and what that means to St. Albert.
Okay. Now you have a question, or?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, like, if we're going to need to go on camera for this, or is it staying in public?
Potentially we may. I believe Ledge has the in-camera motions ready if the members do want to go in, for talking about some matters. David will advise us very quickly if it's something we need to take in camera.
He jumps in. Okay, take her away, Percy.
So obviously the situation, as you're well aware from posts on the website, and that St. Albert has 125 active cases, or we're at 181.4 per 100,000 as that comparative measure. Provincially, there are 4,793 active cases, and within the Edmonton zone, there's 2,245 active cases. Hospitals right now sit with 125 people hospitalized and 19 in ICU beds. St. Albert has 3 identified facilities with outbreaks. The St. Albert Retirement Residence, which has 45 cases attached to it. Ironwood Estates has 4 cases attached to it. Youville Home has 3 cases attached to it. With all these outbreaks, one of the things to remember that not all numbers or people who are of those numbered cases reside within the city of St. Albert. And the same goes for the school outbreaks within St. Albert. There are 5 schools in outbreak status, 3 which are on watch and 2 which are in open. Those on watch are Richard Fowler with 8 cases attached to it. Elmer Gish has 20 cases attached to it. St. Albert Catholic High School has 6 cases attached to it. And under the open status, École La Mission has 2 cases attached to it, and Belrose Composite High School has 3 cases attached to it. The COVID project team that we have now has been apprised of some of the data and trends from meetings with the AHS and the AHS Zone Emergency Operations Center and Medical Officer of Health. And those meetings are actually occurring on a weekly basis now. And within the Edmonton zone, some of the general context from those meetings is that most of those cases are related to contact with COVID positive or symptomatic individuals. And within community, most of those cases that are occurring within household. So somebody is coming from another location and bringing it into their home and spreading it within their home setting. They're seeing numbers, examples of a family of 4, where one individual comes in from a gathering somewhere and then brings that to their home and spreads it through their home. Obviously with those things, some of the measures that they've recommended on those are, if you're sick, stay home. And if you're sick, consider how you prevent spread to the rest of your household. And even looking at things like masking within your household, or separating yourself from within that. The measures that are in place now for St. Albert are that we're under the enhanced level, although our numbers within the community last week, Monday, passed what would have been the watch level. So, but the enhanced level is because of the issues going around with the Edmonton zone numbers increasing. And those measures that are affecting us directly are keeping your family and social gatherings small to no more than 15 people, limit cohorts to no more than 3. So examples are your core household, your school, or another sport or social cohort or work. And young children who attend childcare can be part of four cohorts. Also wear a mask in all indoor works settings, except when alone in a workspace like an office or a cubicle. The province on October 26th placed mandatory measures on the City of Edmonton and City of Calgary. And those measures are 15-person limits on social and family gatherings where people are mixing and mingling. And that applies to social gatherings, banquets, funeral receptions, parties, retirement functions, wedding receptions, and other private social gatherings or functions. The province will be coming out with kind of an interpretation guidance document on this to make sure that there's kind of a clear response there. Those other voluntary measures limiting cohorts and wearing a mask in all the indoor work settings also apply in the City of Edmonton. And that's kind of the update on the situation.
Okay, so Percy, you mentioned you're getting weekly meetings or weekly phone calls or whatever it is from AHS?
Correct.
Is that something that was not happening a month ago?
That is correct. It just started after we went to what would be the watch level. Once we went above that 50 to 100,000 per 100,000 cases.
So they're giving you more detail than we can get from the website that, where we get our numbers every day. Are they giving you a little bit more detail about how the transmission is occurring in St. Albert?
We get a little bit more information. It is some of it's data that we're not allowed to share publicly. It can be used for planning purposes. Some of the general comments, like what I was able to provide on what general transmission and that sort of thing is public knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, I think I get the question all the time, right? Are we getting it at Service Place? Are we getting it at restaurants? And my general response is St. Albert would be indicative of the Alberta trends. And Dr. Hinshaw pretty much says every day it's private social gatherings. So we're not different than the Alberta trends.
Correct. We're definitely not different than those Alberta trends.
Okay.
And we're the community transmission and transmission in home is also significant for St. Albert.
Okay. Okay. Natalie or Ken, questions?
No, you asked my only question if we, what access to information we can share with the public because of the same reasons you've identified. So you asked my question.
All right.
My only question would be more about kind of the voluntary measures that are mandatory in Edmonton. Are we looking at, Edmonton, I can literally throw a ball and hit Edmonton from my yard. So are we considering kind of applying those voluntary restrictions to our facilities, or?
Well, maybe I can jump in here. And so we've looked at it. So in Edmonton, it's social gatherings have, mandatory less than 15, right? So that doesn't extend to St. Albert currently. But it is something we're looking at right now through our pandemic group here is, do we perhaps consider not permitting those gatherings, those social gatherings at city facilities? So, that's more focused on the birthday parties and things like that. This isn't about minor sports or anything. That's a separate definition. This is about things like birthday parties and that. So, because of course, if it's not allowed in Edmonton, but it's allowed elsewhere, people from other communities may go to places where they can still have those gatherings as well, right?
Yeah,
So
I'm just thinking if someone from Edmonton has a wedding booked on Saturday, why not just shift it to St. Albert?
Yeah.
so that's something we're actively looking at. We've had David can comment on this more if he likes, but we've had him look at the motions passed by council, and administration does have the latitude to make that mandatory in city facilities if we so chose, as long as we follow the process and the guidelines that were set out by council in the motion that you made earlier this year. I think it was back in August-ish, but I don't know if David wants to help out with that.
Yeah, it was a big motion, what I call the policy motion that was made on July 6th. I think you all remember that. I think Councillor Jolly, you actually had an amendment to that to put another criterion in. So the CAO has been given policy guidance by council, and as long as he respects that policy guidance, he has the authority to do basically anything operational. So there you have it.
Yeah, and you sent us that email just a couple of days ago, didn't you, David, with that motion?
Yeah, that's correct. I believe I sent it under solicitor and client privilege, so you should all have it.
Yeah, okay. If you're looking for opinions, Kevin, because you have the authority to do it without a motion, I think we should be limiting in city facilities. We should be mirroring their same restrictions that Edmonton has. That would be my thought. Like, Natalie, Ken, do you have a?
I'm not so sure, because I would need more information that would probably be in camera from Percy, because I'm not aware personally of that happening, because my understanding is, of course, that there's so many exemptions to that order from the health officers. So I just need some more clarity before I could say yes or no.
Do you want to go on camera, Ken?
Well, if we're going to have that, if you want a full and frank discussion, I don't know if I have the complete information to say yay or nay. I have information that I have that's publicly available through media outlets, but I don't have specific detailed information from our DM. So
I don't know what information you're looking for.
Well, I guess maybe there is nothing more to share in that, but my point being is I'm only aware of what was talked about just previously in relation to the general comments that Percy gave, plus also some of the comments that Natalie just provided, and some of the stuff that we're obviously all aware of if we follow Dr. Hinshaw's regular updates. But if we're just going to extend it to our public facilities, then I have no issues with that.
Yeah.
But if we're going to look at further restrictions, then I need much more detail.
No, I think we're just talking about keeping birthday parties at Service Place and Fountain Park Pool to a certain limit. Those
Yeah,
kind of
it's-
things, yeah.
Yeah, it's social gatherings in city facilities, whether it's, somebody renting one of the community halls or having some sort of function at a room booked at Service Place or whatever.
Right. And so, I mean, but I mean, for example, I mean, some of the restaurants have separate rooms. They're still limited by the orders from the chief medical officer. They're not impacted by what we're just talking about, correct?
Correct.
No,
We're only
that would be
talking about,
private.
we're only talking about city-owned facilities.
Yeah, no, then I'm fine with that because it's our own facilities and it's really like Mr. LaFleur said, really, we gave that power to Kevin.
Yeah, no, and I was just asking for a general sense and an opinion, but not a motion.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Okay.
I think though, just to your point, Ken, or Councilor Mackay, I know of a lot of Halloween parties happening this weekend in St. Albert in private residences.
Well, and I guess that goes to another question. I mean, sorry to cut you off, Natalie, if you're not done. But I guess that goes to our ability to enforce those abilities. And so, I mean, if it doesn't extend to that, are they enforceable? I don't know. And Inspector Robinson, if you got a complaint of a large social gathering at a home, that, I mean, outside of being the community standards, like a crazy noisy party, but if you got a resident complaint that there was a large social gathering of 30 people in a home, would you respond?
30 is allowed in St. Albert, right?
Yeah, well, okay, I picked a number out of my hat that's on my lap here. A larger group.
When we receive any call, we seek to understand what the primary root issue is. So we would respond with that lens to understand. If nothing criminal is happening, we would then move to a educational lens where we would educate the homeowners on the current regulations and standards.
Okay. Yeah, no,
So-
that's good.
Yeah. Percy, what would be the limit for an indoor house party in St. Albert? Is it 50 people indoors? I feel like it's,
That would be the number, indoor
Right.
gathering number.
but would the RCMP or our bylaw have any authority if there were 60 people in that house? I'm not gonna ask Pam to go count people, but do you have that authority?
That's where it becomes complicated
Yeah.
because it would be our lawful authority to enter the residence, and then you're getting into more legal obligations. So if it's just a basic party, we're at the doorstep, we're not going to go through room to room to tell people.
Yeah.
But we would identify who the homeowner is or property representative, and then have that conversation about potential risk and behaviors.
David, you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, I don't want, Pam has answered just now for the RCMP, which is great. In terms of bylaw though, it's very clear for the first 3 months of the pandemic, roughly, they did have enforcement authority, and the government of Alberta specifically took that away from bylaw or community peace officers. So there's nothing they can do.
Okay. Okay. Helpful. Are we doing any, I don't think it's 2 days away, but any city education on Halloween parties? And we're not, are we?
We have information on the website, and we've been using social media to discuss safe Halloween strategies.
Okay. Well, Natalie, you know all the parties. The party girl on our council.
Yeah.
I've actually heard of none, and my teenagers, they're staying home. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right. Anything else, Kevin?
No, I think that was just it. It was
Okay.
a general update, and just kind of, we hadn't got together for a while, and there's been a few announcements in the last couple of weeks here.
All right, we have we scheduled, I know our regional rep or whatever from Alberta Health has offered to meet with council in camera. Have we scheduled that?
I believe it's November 30th, but I'll ask Percy to confirm that there.
That is the date.
Okay, all right. So that'll be our chance to ask the hard questions. Okay. All right, I think I can't think of anything else. I think it's probably a good idea to do this once in a while if the numbers stay high. If anything, it's live streamed to the public, so that is a little bit helpful for them. Because we haven't heard Percy's update in a while, so appreciate it. All right, motion to adjourn. Actually, I don't need a motion. Meeting adjourned.
Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Thanks.